Glassford,
Here.
Papke,
Yeah.
Gillespie,
Here.
Hemi,
Here.
Richardson.
Here. I need a motion to approve the posted agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the August 31st, 2020 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to opening comments. Hearing none. Moving on to no public hearing. Number 6, no old business. Okay, new business. The reason I wanted to have a meeting tonight is I got an email from the CHRC, President Mike Harstead. What they've done is they've pushed this plan out to the public, looking for any sort of feedback, and I thought if I got pushed to the public, it was most certainly appropriate to get it to you guys. It says preliminary concept, but for us, it's not an official preliminary concept because they haven't sent it to us accordingly, so there's no approval based on their feedback that they get from the public. And what Mike requested us do is give him feedback, then they will make changes as they see appropriate. So just some logistics of the development, so anybody that doesn't know, the development will be right across the street here. So as you hold it like this, between those two trees over there, there's a driveway heading to the east. That's where the development will be. Another reason I wanted to bring it here is because what I want you guys to do is take an opportunity, one, to look at it today, but as you take it with you, dissect it. And I know Tobias is still diligently working our updates to our zoning and regulation binder. So what I did is I gave you guys copies today, which is this handout with some verbiage on it, with some highlights. Basically what I envision, based on what they've given us to look at, would be a combination of R1 and R2 zoning. So what I did is I just printed you guys those two excerpts out of the regulations, and to start to look at setbacks. And I guess to me, if you look at the very first page of my handout, we'll just look at this out of section 04, street system, number 6. And the one thing that I will draw to their attention, I'm not sure what the railroad setback is there. Normally it's 50 feet, but I've seen it up to 100. And then if you look at the backyards, obviously we have nothing to scale here, but what I want them to remember is the verbiage out of our regulation is that lots for residential development adjacent to functioning railroad right-of-ways shall provide extra lot depth. Basically providing a little extra buffer between our R2 and the railroad. So until we get some official numbers, hey Gary, how you doing?
I'm running late.
No, that's not good. Just get you up to speed. So this is the development. Just sitting like this, it's going right across the street over here. So as you look at it, it drives in between the trees. And what I did, since our books are getting worked on, this handout will be things that you guys will have to consider as we move forward. So I want to give you guys an opportunity, since this did get pushed to the public, to get this to the board to start to dissect their concept plan.
Okay. Is that 50
So-
feet, Scott? Sorry. Is that from the center of the track?
You know, that bush, that railroad right away, is that they measure from that? It probably is from the center of the track, because normally it's 100
That's what I thought.
total.
It was.
I think it is from the
I
center.
was curious. Anyway.
Yep. So, and that's nothing, since I've sat on the board, that we've had to deal much with, other than with currently with the elevator property with the railroad. But as this development goes, then I'll have to educate myself on that a little bit more. So like I said, this is not to scale, there's no measurements, but this is just all things that they will have to take into consideration, that even though when you look at R2 and you look at the rear lot requirements, it's 25 feet. It doesn't matter if that's single family detached or single family attached, it's still a rear yard 25, but So it could be possibility from the center of those tracks to the back of those buildings, 75 feet, and I'm not sure if that's enough buffer or not, but we'll have to consider that as we move forward. That's pretty close to the tracks, but anyway, so we'll have that discussion with them just as we move forward, as we get a scale drawing. Another piece of the puzzle, so as you guys look at the R1 considerations, I wanted to make sure you guys had the lot sizes for the requirements. We did make some adjustments over in Sunset as we got towards the tail end of the development to accommodate some different building concepts there. So we can make some slight adjustment, but I want them to understand that going into this, it's 9,600 square feet is the minimum for lot sizes. Let's see here, what else did I have out of that? Any corner lots? Just for your guys' gee whiz information, they can pick the front of the street, the house that faces the front has to be a 25-foot setback. On a quarter lot, you can reduce your side to 20. So that'll be a consideration. Okay, moving on to the big ticket item. That I really wanted to have a conversation with you guys about is public open space. Now, to me, and a big part of planning and zoning is make sure that we keep an eye on parks. Parks pretty valuable for us. Parking is very valuable and very expensive in hindsight. So when I had talked to Mike the other night, and maybe you can correct me on this, Bush, because you might have been to a CHRC meeting, but my understanding is that they want to use that detention pond area for park. Did you hear the same?
I did not hear it directly, but I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah. So that's why I highlighted some excerpts out of the ordinance for you guys. So there's a couple different ways to do that. So the city may, from the highlight, the city may require a public open space fee applicable to residential development computed on a basis of $200 per dwelling unit. And when you look at, if you're gonna do multifamily, so if you're gonna do twin homes, a dwelling unit so a twin home would be considered 2 units, so $400. So like I said, I don't know if all these are intended to be double unit, that's the way they're showing here, but they could be 2-story. So I mean, we'll get some more information as we go, but I just want Mike and the CHRC to understand that we will be requiring either a park or the fee, prefer the park, but we'll see how that goes in the negotiations on that. So in lieu of a public open space fee, the applicant may dedicate 1 acre for each 75 proposed dwelling units within the proposed development for open space for park, multi-purpose trails and recreational purposes. The land that is proposed by the applicant for dedication must be suitable and acceptable to the city for the use or activity that is identified and at the size appropriate location, yada, yada. The minimum amount of land that can be donated is 1 acre. Now, from what I count here, like I said, this is concept, but approximately 63 R1 and approximately 24 R2. So the R1 would be a $200 fee per dwelling, and then the R2 could possibly be up to $200 or $400 or more per dwelling. So obviously they're over that 75, so there will be at least 1 acre of dedication. Most importantly, and you guys can read the rest of this on your own time, but most importantly at the bottom is wetland, ponding areas, and drainage ways accepted by the city may not be considered in the public open space fee and or land dedication to the city. So the way that reads is that detention pond cannot be used for or be dedicated as open space or park. So that will be something that we'll have to have a discussion with them. I mean, I would like to see a more usable area than just a detention pond for park space. But that will be something that they'll have to figure out as they move forward?
They were kind of leaning towards not doing a park and paying
Yep,
because of, and using the money to improve the other parks instead of having more maintenance,
yep,
more grass mowing equipment to take care of, things like that, because they could get a path from this park over to New Hope probably, you know, across the back of town and stuff.
If you look here on the north side of here, there's a guy on this gravel road, you could make that whole park.
make that whole, yeah, just commandeer that whole lot there, that whole area.
That whole,
Take the money they owe you and pay that guy, and he can sure do that.
So that we could have something for fun activities in the summer and put a ice skating rink in, make sure there's activities
You'd
year
have
round.
sheds.
I was thinking more of an archery range.
An archery range, you probably would be opposed to that, but get a lifetime membership over there, Bill.
Don't we have an ice skate rink up there, the north park?
That they call the walking path and ice skating rink in the winter.
yeah,
Yeah, once in a while. But that, I was at the meeting, that's kind of, they were leaning towards,
So, and I'd have to talk to the attorney. I don't know. I don't know if you have to accept the fee, or if you could require a park. I'm not really sure.
I don't know, you know, from Bill's standpoint, I like the improvement part. It is a big maintenance, but then if you look at the future, you know, when this chunk here goes, you could really have a nice area, you know, because they'd have to dedicate, so if they left the house out here or here.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if maybe for our future use, if we couldn't possibly do a combination of dedicate that, put in our future use, the other portion of the park on the other land to the south, because as long as it's dedicated in our future use and in our comprehensive plan, we can force that. So that's something to surely consider as we move forward.
the other thing to remember too is this might not be the final plan,
Correct.
because there's other people looking at the property too that have different ideas.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to bring it to you guys, and this is not even considered what, for us, for an official concept plan, this is like a dream plan right now, just to get it out to the public and get some ideas, and they're trying to be transparent, which I think is great. So, any other concerns from you guys that you want me to push to that board? Anything else that you might see?
No, I think it looks good.
No cul-de-sac
No cul-de-sac?
from the,
Three of them in
from
there.
the snow removal.
Yeah, the snow removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame
I
those
was
guys.
thinking like that.
I will say it does cause some, right-of-ways for drainage between houses, like we've had already in some cul-de-sacs where then they can't do anything, the neighbors, because it's a so it's some gain, but like Bill said, there's, you know, another developer could have
Yep.
with no cul-de-sac.
Yeah, well, and I do know over by Kendall's and between Kendall's and Byron's, I know it's gonna be a challenge with the drainage through there, but I think that will help that area too.
That's pretty low right there.
Well, and I know that Myron's had some backup in his place, and they had to dig that out, but getting storm sewer and stuff in there can hopefully help remedy some of that for that neighborhood too.
Yeah, it'll help. You know, we cleaned all the trees out last year.
Yep. So as you guys move forward, I didn't expect a real lively conversation tonight, but I did want you guys to have your hands on this. I'm not sure how lively it was dispersed amongst the community, so I thought it was pretty vital that this board get their hands on it and start to digest it, and obviously this is not the final plan, and it will be different as we move forward, but understanding that we will still be working within our regulations for R1, R2, so start to digest some of that.
Under R2, how many, can you go to a triplex or fourplex?
Well, basically, it goes anywhere from 3 to 8, 9 to 12, and then over 12. So, I mean, you can basically do whatever at that point. Did you talk to Bob about his land by the tracks there?
I did, you mean Pheasant Ridge?
No, right next to the other apartment complex.
Shooting.
Oh, Bob, he seems to be working with somebody, or he has an idea. I think, I happened across the guy that was out here looking at twin home lot. He knows Bob, and they kind of been talking, but I think it's probably gonna be similar to what's already there.
Yep.
An apartment.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing you said to me too, so that may become in the future. Okay, anything else on this?